Okay, so let's just jump right in. If you're part of a family, you've probably felt it, right? That feeling of being totally overwhelmed, maybe even outmatched by all the devices that have kind of taken over our homes. It feels like we're constantly running to keep up, but we're doing it blindfolded. The question is, how do we get a handle on it? How do we put technology back in its proper place?
And it turns out that feeling isn't just in our heads. The data really backs this up. The Barna Group asked a whole bunch of parents, what makes raising kids so much more complicated today? And look at this. The number one answer, by a long shot, was technology usage. So if you're feeling this, you're not alone. This is a massive shared struggle.
And this quote, wow, it just hits the nail on the head. Author Alexandra Kuykendall says it feels like sprinting a marathon blindfolded. Isn't that perfect? You've got the speed, you've got the exhaustion, but you also have this sense of not having any idea where you're actually going. It just perfectly captures that feeling of being overwhelmed. So to figure this out, author Andy Crouch says we first have to understand what makes modern tech so different. You see, it's not just a better version of an old tool, like a hammer. The biggest compliment we can give a gadget today is it just works. Technology's big promise is a world that is easy everywhere. It's always on, it's always available, and it's designed to require almost no skill from us. And this is where the real problem comes into focus. When you put these two ideas side by side, you see a fundamental clash. On one side, you have technology, whose whole goal is to make life easy, frictionless, and convenient. But on the other side, you have family. And what's the real purpose of a family? Well, it's the hard, messy, difficult work of building character, of forming wisdom and courage in each other. Those two goals are pulling in completely opposite directions. And that's why, as Andy Crouch says here, if we just let technology's default settings run our family life, we're basically asking for trouble. Without a plan, without being really intentional and careful about it, we're pretty much guaranteed to drift into what he calls a quite extraordinary mess. But hold on, the solution isn't to just throw all our devices in a river and go live off the grid. That's not the point. This isn't about becoming Amish. The real goal is to become tech-wise. It's about being thoughtful and putting these incredibly powerful tools in their proper place so they serve our family's true purpose, instead of the other way around. It's all about finding that balance. So how do we actually start doing this? Well, it's not about just gritting your teeth and using more willpower, because let's be honest, that runs out pretty fast. Instead, the book suggests we use something called nudges. A nudge is just a small change you make in your environment that makes the good choice the easy choice. Like a grocery store putting the healthy snacks right at eye level. It's about setting ourselves up for success. All right, so let's get super practical. We can apply these nudges in two really big areas of our family life: how we shape our physical space and how we structure our time. Okay, first up, shaping your space. The biggest nudge a tech-wise family can make is to push all the easy, passive entertainment to the edges of the home. And instead, you fill the center of your home, like your living room, with things that are more like a hearth than a furnace. See, a furnace gives easy heat everywhere, but doesn't bring anyone together. A hearth, though, a hearth takes work, it takes skill, and it becomes the natural gathering place for the whole family. So what does a hearth actually look like today? Well, it's things like this: books that invite you to sit and read, musical instruments that are just waiting to be played, a big dining table that's ready for conversation, board games that force you to interact. See, these things don't just work, they ask something from us, and in return they help us build skill and create real connection. Okay, next up is how we structure our time. The book lays out this really simple and easy to remember rhythm: 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week. The idea is 1 hour a day, say at dinner, where all devices are completely off. Then 1 full day a week to unplug from screens and really reconnect with each other. And finally, 1 week a year, where you take a real extended break from it all. It's a super powerful rhythm. And if you're wondering if we really need these kinds of boundaries, just look at this number. 62% of parents check their phone within the first hour of waking up. 62%. Before we've even had a cup of coffee, we're already letting all the noise and chaos of the world rush into our day. And that leads to this really simple but maybe kind of uncomfortable question from the book. Do we wake up before our devices do? Or do we let our phones set the tone for our entire day right from the moment we open our eyes? It's a small question, but it has some pretty huge implications. And what about our kids? Well, this might be the most challenging commitment in the whole book. Aim for no screens before double digits. Now, this isn't about depriving our kids. It's actually framed as giving them a radical gift, the gift of a childhood that's rooted in the real world, a world of skinned knees and hands-on learning before they have to deal with the crazy complexities of the screen world. So, shaping space, structuring time, what does all this really add up to? Why does any of this actually matter? Well, it turns out it's about so much more than just managing screen time. All these little habits are actually training us for the most important moments of our lives.
See, we don't learn how to be human when life is easy. We learn it when things get hard. By practicing being present in the small moments, like at the dinner table, we're building up the muscle we need to be fully present for each other during life's most vulnerable times. At a birth, during a serious illness, and eventually at a death. Technology can give us the illusion of presence, but it can never, ever replace the real thing.
And this all leads to the final and most powerful commitment of a tech-wise family. The real goal isn't to have the perfect screen time chart on the fridge. It's to build a life of connection so deep that it leads to this ultimate hope. We hope to die in one another's arms. It's a pretty profound reminder that the real prize isn't a life of ease, but a life of deep, real, unwavering human connection.